All right, all right, all right. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our valued audience and speakers. We welcome you to the highly anticipated YALDA webinar, Local Youth Actions for the SDGs and Beyond. My name is Mateo Moloi, Executive Assistant at YALDA Botswana and Marketing Executive at Kalahari Training Institute. And I will be co-moderating the session with Eldeen Khaled, Founder and Community Development Lead, YALDA Social Media Team Member. As you can introduce yourself, please.
Thank you, Smoso. My name is Ez from Egypt. I am, like she said, I'm founder and community development lead and YALDA social media team member.
All right, it's a pleasure to moderate today's session. We'll just quickly go through the webinar etiquette, some few housekeeping rules. So, as you enter the webinar, please kindly make sure that you are on mute. All right, remain on mute throughout the webinar. Ensure that your camera is off. We need to respect everyone else's data consumption. As you know, data is expensive in Africa. And if you have a question, kindly type it in the comments. If you have a comment or a question, kindly type it in the chat box and please leave your name and your country as well as you do that. And then those whose questions or comments are selected at any time during the webinar, you will be asked to unmute and speak. And if you are selected to speak, please introduce yourself by your name and your country only. And then please repeat the question or the comment that you have typed up in the chat box. All right, those are our housekeeping rules for the day. We will now quickly go through our introduction, why we're here today. So I'm going to read to you our little introduction. It reads, to fully harness the potential of youth in advancing multilateral cooperation, we call on all stakeholders to act decisively. Governments must invest in digital infrastructure, especially in rural and marginalized communities. Policymakers must craft inclusive digital strategies that prioritize women, persons with disabilities, and displaced youth. The private sector must invest boldly in youth-led innovation and scale support for cross-border initiatives. And above all, youth participation must be institutionalized across African Union structures, UN agencies, and regional economic communities. So, this International Youth Day, we reaffirm that youth people are not just leaders of tomorrow, they are the change makers of today. They are writing the next chapter of Africa's multilateral future in code, data, and activism. Let us empower them not as beneficiaries, but as equal partners. As Kofi Annan once said, any society that does not succeed in tapping into the energy and creativity of its youth will be left behind. The future of Africa is not a distant vision. It is here. It is digital, it is collaborative, and it is youth-led. We recognize Ruth Chileshe from Zambia and Dennis Juma from Kenya as the authors of this webinar's concept note. So, to begin this exciting webinar, I ask all of you in the audience to please type in the chat box, your name and your country. Let us know where you're from. I can now hand over to Ez to introduce our speakers for the day.
Thank you, Smoso. So let us introduce our amazing speakers today. Sally Tabi Najouh, Head of Stakeholder Engagement and Communication, Africa Startup Ecosystem Builders, Society Founder, Happy Me Health from Cameroon. Royanji Jean Franti, Co-founder Basha Youth Hub, DRC and Rwanda. Grace Naduta, Founder LinkedIn Opportunities Community, Youth Advocate and Monitor, Digital Thought Leader from Kenya. Godforest B. Gabbali, Solar Energy Promoter, SEB, as Solar Energy by Delight Limited from Nigeria. Kabelo Musbejati Mawamba, Tishwani University of Technology Student Faculty Council, SFC, Chairperson, Minorities and NCLWT, Chairperson, Sangova TUT Special Branch from South Africa. Emmanuel Suster Banda, Youth Activist, IT Data Specialist, and CEO of Oviva from Zambia. Marcella Amberton, Founder and Executive Director, Green Climate Health Network from Ghana. Tabitha Nachiko, Mandela Washington Fellow 2025, Certified Neuro Life Coach, Founder Live Out Loud Namibia from Namibia. So, our question today. This year, International Youth Day theme focus on local youth action for the SDGs and beyond. From your perspective, what practical action can African youth take at the local level that also strengthen cross-border collaboration and leverage technology to accelerate progress on the SDGs? So what you say about that, Sally?
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Okay, so my name is Sally, and it's so good to be here talking to you all. First off, I would like to say that one important aspect that local youths can contribute to basically be to push research-driven data. As local youth, we have the power to connect with these different communities that we all reach out to. So we can spend our time gathering a lot of information about our different sectors and also information about these communities. By information, I mean focusing on how to channel our sustainable practices to their specific needs, and also looking at the partnerships we want to create, the collaboration. We also have to make sure that our specific goals align with the goals of these organizations that we want to reach out to. And another thing that I feel local youths can do is to map out stakeholders. You have to do research to come up with all the peoples that the people that can challenge system, the people that have resources that you need. You map out all the stakeholders, and if you're not visible enough for them to get to you, then you might want to try reach out to them through social media channels. You travel. Sometimes I leave Limbe to Yaoundé just to make sure that I'm getting my voice heard by the public health system. So I think local youths are in a point where we can volunteer skills, we can volunteer time and energy to make sure that we are pushing our narratives and telling the stories of these communities that we want to serve, one through research and also through ecosystem mapping. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally. So, what you say, Rayanji? Rayanji, are you with me? Rayanji, you can unmute your audio. Look like Rayanji is not with us. Okay. Let us move to Grace Naduta. What you say about our question today?
Thank you for the opportunity. I'd like to introduce myself. I am the founder of LinkedIn Opportunities Community. And today I come with a simple promise that when African youth connect intentionally across all borders and they use this digital platform strategically, for me, I concentrate on LinkedIn, but we can use different platforms. we can be able to convert this potential into paychecks, into policy influence, among others. So to respond to the question, my thoughts will align to digital platforms. And one, we can be able to form micro coalitions. I have met so many youths across Africa and beyond. And if you are in a position to, LinkedIn is a very good platform where you can be able to gather, let's say 4 to 8 people around a single SDG problem, and then you commit. If you commit to a weekly meeting for, let's say, 6 weeks, and you are able to deliver one usable outputs, for example, it can be a toolkit, etc. By the end of the sprints, that you are able to coordinate and come together. So what I concentrate on using digital platforms, one is that you are able to collaborate. Next, I will say publishing in public. What do I mean by publishing in public? You are being able to document your experiments openly. For example, you can use LinkedIn posts, you can use newsletters, you can use GitHub repositories, Google Drive templates, among many others. This makes outputs easy to fork and remix so that people in other countries, even in African, can be able to adapt. Next, we can say resource sharing across the different borders. What I mean is that if we are able to maintain a shareable, let's say, notion of grants, pro bono mentors, and internships, we can be able to help each other even from different places. Next is measuring and signal. So when you come together, you are publishing in public as well as you're sharing resources. What can you be able to do? Next, have clear KPIs after every micro coalition, and then you update metrics publicly. Remember, when we are using our digital platforms, the key is to ensure that you are public. So this ensures that there is progress, and it also invites collaborators. Yeah. People who are aligned to the same SDG will be able to approach you and see how they can plug in. The last thing, so as we also focus on people who are in the rural or low connectivity areas, let's use low bandwidth defaults. For example, I have a WhatsApp community, which is low bandwidth. In case someone is not able to access LinkedIn or other complex, platforms, they can be able to use WhatsApp. In other places, you can use SMS and offline files. So just to recap, forming micro coalitions, publishing in public, resource sharing, measuring and signaling progress, and lastly, low bandwidth defaults.
Thanks, Grace. So we can say the platform is the key to start. So what do you say about that question, Jabali? Jabali, are you there?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Rianji? Okay, Rianji was us now. Okay, you can answer now.
All right. As my previous speaker was from saying, I think that, of course, digital platforms, they are the way to start. Why? I'm going to try to explain myself according to the small experience that I'm having as a web developer, an online freelancer, but also a multimedia journalist. So what I think, when it comes to digital platforms, the first opportunity we have is the low barrier entry. You don't need a printing press, you don't need a newsroom or a huge funding upfront. You just need yourself, your ideas, and what you can deliver. With just your website, your social media, and tools like podcast or blog, you can launch and grow steadily. So it's something you can just do by yourself and which is going to produce a huge impact. So apart from that, there is scalability. When you start to operate digitally, it allows you to begin small. You know, as a youth today, we are scared of starting small. We want to start in a very spacious but also accommodated office where you are having all the facilities and so on. But you know, in the reality, it doesn't happen that way. So when you start small, you have the opportunity to grow. And when you are growing, it gives you the capability to expand into events, partnerships, but also other kind of medias. If you are not comfortable with print, you can decide to move to audio, to video, according to what you want to do, but you have to start small and start with what you are. For the third point, I'm going to talk about proof and concepts. When it comes to funders, partners, and collaborators who want to see impact, digital platforms let you quickly showcase your reach, your engagement, your influence with real numbers. Because when you are operating with digital platforms, you are having that possibility to track who is listening, who is reading, who is watching your content, and where are they doing it from. So it gives you that possibility to go to the partners to discuss with them when you are having clear numbers about what you are talking about. The fourth point is about flexibility and experimentation. And you know, flexibility is something which always comes with experience. So when you are using digital platforms, there is that experience that you are earning, something that you are improving inside yourself that can help you navigate a lot of formats of content. You can even diversify them so that so that today you can say, today I'm going to write a story, today it will be a data-driven article, tomorrow it will be a podcast, depending of what you want to do. So you are having that ability of choosing what does really fit to the audience I want to talk to the audience I want to communicate to. And lastly, I'm going to talk about immediate visibility, because you know, as the youth, what we want is to make sure that people are seeing what we are doing. We don't want to do things so that they are going to disappear. We want to make sure that everything we are doing is going to produce an impact. So personally, as a journalist, I work upon amplifying the voice of the marginalized communities, marginalized groups, and so on. So starting digitally ensures to me the voices are heard now, not years later when resources for traditional publishing arrive, but making sure that I can be heard now. So we are having that immediate visibility, but also immediate impact, and also the immediate possibility of taking actions. That the advantages that I'm getting from digital platforms. Thank you.
Thanks you, Ranji. So it is time to get first to answer the overall question for today.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope I can be heard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so good evening from Nigeria.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Godfrey Fale. I'm a solar energy promoter with Delight Solar. Regarding this particular question about local ways can strengthen cross-border collaboration and leverage tech to accelerate progress of SDG. My take on it is to start with the digital footprint, which the previous speakers have talked about. It's easier to spread messages these days, especially when you want to be international about it. But as regards locality, the SDG goals, the Sustainable Development Goals are 17 in number, and then there are vast informations to pass. So I think when these informations are made available to the persons, for instance, me here in Nigeria, if I can make it known to my neighbor that there is a particular goal that we need to achieve, I think it will go a long way to better our lives. The ideas to if we want to provide solutions, if we have the ideas to give solutions to people, I think it will go a long way to help our local populace. I think that's what I have to say now. Thank you.
Thank you, Jabali. So Musu will continue.
All right.
Musu,
Sorry about that. All right, so we're gonna go on with the general questions. I'm gonna take over now. So the next question goes to Kabelo. You can take over and answer that general question. I'm gonna be giving you 3 minutes just to speak. Kabelo. All right, Kabelo, are you available at the moment?
I think I'm available.
Right.
Up there. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for having me on the platform. And let me start by thanking the question that is currently addressed generally. Personally, when I want to answer this question, I unpacked it into bits and pieces. And can you still see me?
Yes, Ma, we can see you, we can hear you. Go on.
So the question says, from your perspective, what practical actions can African youth take at the local level that also strengthen cross-border collaboration and leverage technology to accelerate progress on the SDGs? And I took strength, I took collaboration, and I took technology from the question. And my answer is that for us to strengthen ourselves locally, we need to equip ourselves with knowledge. You would realize that as a continent, we have a key issue of literacy. And to understand the problems that we have, we first have to be knowledgeable and educated to understand that we are able to understand what are the contemporary issues of Africa and what are the immediate challenges that we need to challenge. That is my answer to the first part of the question, that how do we strengthen ourselves? We need to position ourselves in a way that we are knowledgeable and understand our tapestry as Africa, so that when we get into boardrooms, we present solutions that speaks to our continent, because in most cases you would find that we take solutions that are designed for developed countries, and then we want them to work in our underdeveloped tapestry. And the second part, which is collaboration, the cross-border collaboration. And then when you just say cross-border collaboration, it speaks red tape of policy bureaucracy. We need to question ourselves in such settings to say, how do we then go about making the policies that exist in our respective countries to allow such collaborations, and how do we deal with issues of high tariffs for a beginner who wants to start selling a simple thing like a luxurious tea. I met one of the activists last year in the University of Pretoria. She was selling such a nice tea that aided me with I have excess mucus, so that tea was so good and it helped me, but I only could manage to buy 3 packs that time. And later, 6 months, 5 months down the line, they were finished. I couldn't buy them because I would have to pay 3 times more what I paid when she was here in an event than when I have to order from Cameroon. So we need to sit and ask ourselves, how do we position ourselves in a way that when policies are reviewed, especially around cross-border collaborations, how do we position ourselves so that our voice is heard? And lastly, I took the part of leveraging on technology. Personally,
okay, 30 seconds to go.
Yes, the personally question that I want us to ponder on, it's, are we even ready to leverage on technology if we are still regarded as a continent that is digitally poverty stricken? Thank you.
All right, that was beautifully said, Kabelo. Thank you so much for your insight. We're gonna move on quickly to Banda. May you take us through your answer for the question?
Thank you very much. I don't hope that I'm audible. Am I? Just confirm with me.
Can hear you. 3 minutes starts now.
All right, great. To answer the question, I will begin by asking a question too. This is a question that I don't need the answer, but it should just stick in our minds, inclusive of the audience that are here. So, is it right that when we think of sustainable development goals, we often look up the United Nations or maybe the government chambers? That's a question for you and for everyone. And then let me come to the question that is at hand. So I'll bring it to Zambia. I'm in the eastern part of Zambia, Eastern Province to be specific. So this year's theme speaks about local youth actions for the SDGs and beyond. And from my perspective as a young African, when I think of local actions, for me, it is not just a slogan. It is my survival. And of course, our survival as the home. So what do young people then do? I come from a community where young people are already living the SDGs, the so-called Sustainable Development Goals, without even realizing that they're even actually doing that thing. For instance, when a community local youth group, Kwaiza, for instance, I'll give an example of where I'm coming from, plant trees. They are trying to fight deforestation. But then these people already, they are actually pushing for the SDG number 13, that is climate action. But then you find that they don't realize it. When even a small group of women comes for saving their finances so as they should be using them for school fees of their kids and maybe some basic health needs, they are trying to reduce inequality already. And that is SDG number 10. So therefore, the small actions, though local, carry power to inspire collaboration across borders if we package them well. So answering now to the question, so what practical action can African youth take? I see with me, I've got maybe just summarizes this into 3 points. The first one, we need to turn local challenges into regional lessons. So what do I mean? So if a youth group in Zambia creates a solution for waste management, for instance. Why can't that model be shared digitally, just like other previous colleagues have talked about this? Digitally, we are talking about sharing it digitally so it should cross borders. Maybe it will reach the neighboring country, that's Malawi. Maybe it will reach Kenya. Let's think about our famous guys that we know, the Mark Zuckerberg, who is the proprietor of Facebook. How did the idea start? It started as a local idea from where he stays. But what is it today? It's a global thing, right? So local actions, what we need to realize is we need to turn local challenges into regional places. So once we do that, we'll even monetize our idea. The Zoom that we're using here, it was created by Eric Yan. And
You have
how
30
was it
seconds.
started? All right, thank you very much. So the second point is digital bridges, where you are use the available resources, the smartphone, the computer, to connect globally. And then the last one is collaboration. So we need to collaborate with people who can push what we are trying to spearhead. So with that, I would say for me, local youth action is about courage. Courage to solve what is right in front of us, but also courage to share it boldly beyond our borders using technology that we're talking about. That is how Africans' young generation will not just meet SDGs, but also go beyond them. Thank you.
All right, all right. I love it. I love the energy. Thank you so much for that. I loved that you said that we're living the SDGs every day and we don't even realize it. That was really powerful. So next we're gonna take Priscilla. You've got 3 minutes and your time starts now. Priscilla, are you available?
Yeah, good evening.
All right.
Thank you. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, depending on where you are joining from. I am Miss Priscilla from Ghana. The question at hand is very delicate, and I know people are wondering what we all have to do as youth. You know, tackling problems start from somewhere. This year, we are focusing on the local level. And at the local level, whatever you want to do, you need to do a community assessment. If you live in a city, you don't wake up and want to solve a problem in a rural community that you've not been to. So you do a community assessment, you do an observation and community visit. Visit the particular local community that you want to tackle the problem from. You have to do a stakeholders engagement. You know, every communities have leaders, whether they are chiefs, whether they are kings, whether they are political leaders. You need to have an engagement with them. Find the problem that they are facing, define the problem that you want to tackle, and link it with one SDG. We have 17 SDGs and they are numerous. From the first one to the 17th one, every problem that we face on Earth now is linked to one particular SDG or two. Be innovative about solving the problem. You have to design solutions that are rooted in our local realities. You don't, when they started AI, I believe they didn't just bring it up as a tool that they want people to use. They had an assessment to know how people will be able to embrace it in our day-to-day activities, how we can fix it into all the sectors of our life, being it health, being it agriculture, being it energy. You need to search for what others are doing in different communities and connect with them. One mistake that we do as youth is when one person is doing something, because we want glory, because we want to be called as, yeah, we are doing the right thing. We do not want to partner with others. So whatever you are doing today, there is nothing new under the sun. So whatever you are doing today, somebody has done it or somebody started it, or there's somebody somewhere that has the same idea. So you connect with people with the same mindset. You have to have a youth-to-youth capacity building. You don't have to be afraid to start. When one speaker was talking, he made mention of youth don't want to start small. You have to start small. You need to have a youth-to-youth capacity building. We wake up and we have a lot of solutions in our mind, but we do not want to learn and know the steps involved. So make sure you attend mentorship series events. When you connect with people in different countries, do not just take their solutions because whatever they are doing is so different and unique from what you are doing. No. Learn from their solutions and connect it with yours. Our question says, what practical actions can African youth take at the local level that can also strengthen cross-border collaboration and leverage technology to accelerate progress on the SDGs. When you connect with people in different communities, find ways to infuse your solution in your community. Every community have different people with different mindsets. Make sure whatever that you are going to discuss with them that is linked with the SDGs, you explain it in a language that is well understood by the people in your community. You don't just wake up and bring a solution from, let's say, Zambia to Ghana. It will be difficult for them to understand. Why? Because the person that innovated it did it based on the understanding of the community he or she is coming from. So as youth, we should learn to have stakeholders engagement, connect with other people, learn from them, capacity building. I think this is what I want to say about the question. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Priscilla has come with guns blazing, guys. I can see the reactions are going fire up. She says, tackling problems start from where you are. So you observe, you assess youth to youth capacity. Guys, we are learning a lot. And thank you so very much, Priscilla, for that take. We are going to move on to our last speaker, Tabitha. Yes, you have 3 minutes and your time starts now. Are you available?
Yes.
All right.
Good evening, everybody. All right. My network might be going on and off, but yeah, I hope you can hear me. I'm at the village. So yeah. Also, my question is about how young African leaders can develop the mindset and skill to collaborate and tackle shared continental challenges. And I have been working with the young people for over now, I don't know, maybe plus 7 years plus. And one thing that I have seen is the 4 points that I am going to share is the first one is the first step what we can take to work together is, or to solve this problem, is to work together instead of competing, because in most cases the young African leaders will be having a lot of projects which are the same, just because probably even in the same community duplicating all the projects which are the same, but somebody want to be an individual and working alone on very project we just collaborate on. So we must be very intentional in working together to work as a team, rather than ideas, to not be stingy our ideas on how to solve that specific problem in our community, in our countries, and also in the and the second one is make skills development training accessible. We are lacking this a lot, and it's a problem that needs to be solved. It can be solved by each one of us. It begins with us. By if we have if we have capacity to do it, it starts with each one of us to provide intensive training to ensure all the young people have knowledge and tools needed to contribute meaningfully to the economic of our country. Because most cases is one goes to they ended up, maybe they dropped out, they left behind, but we can always come up with training centers or whatever skills project that need these people, so that we can solve the problem of unemployment and all other problems that we have, and also contribute to the SDG 4, giving quality education to these people despite the fact that they did not complete their schools. And also number 3 is to do away with individualism. Oh, this one is a problem in Africa. And I have seen also even our leaders doing the I. Let us do away with the I. Let us prioritize collective progress over personal gain. If there's a problem in the community of maybe suicide or whatever, climate change, whatever, you talk about it and say, guys, what can we do to solve this problem, instead of you wanting to be seen there shining because you don't want to work with other people and all you do is, I can do this, I can do this. So the last one is to foster the mindset of intentional living. We should, you should now start being intentional about what we want to achieve as a young leaders. Thank you so much.
All right,
Thank
guys,
you,
I'm sure
Tabitha.
we're all excited with all these questions. These are the end of the general questions, and we're now going to move on to the specific questions. Ez, would you like to take them through?
Okay, thanks, Musu. The question to Cabello. As a student leader and advocate for education and community development, how can youth lead movement in academic institutions translate local innovation into influence of multilateral education policies and contribute to achieving SDG 4 quality education across Africa? So, Cabello, can you answer?
Hi, if possible, can I be the second speaker? I'm still on call, the other phone. Something emergency came.
Okay. So the second question to Emmanuel. Your e-commerce platform bridges sustainability and technology. What role do digital entrepreneurship models like yours play in promoting regional competition to create sustainable use livelihoods and advance SDG 9 industry, innovation, and infrastructure?
All right. Thank you very much for the question. So I would like to say why I built this platform called Oyavia. By the way, it's pronounced as Oyavia. So Oyavia, where I come from, it is a Senga word that means a helper. So just from what it means itself, it's about helping who? It's about helping the community where I come from myself. It's about helping the nation, not just the nation where I'm coming from, Zambia, but it's also about helping the entire Africa. That's the vision. So then, if you are to ask me, how is this then promoting to the sustainable development? I do believe that we are all in a different generations to which it has evolved. The world has evolved. Everything is being done digitally, and the things have changed from the way it used to happen in the past and the way it used to happen now. For instance, I'll give an example. In 2019, we had what was called the COVID-19. 2019 COVID-19. That was a pandemic that happened, and then it had then to create a shift on how maybe people perceived things when it comes to maybe entrepreneurship part, because my e-commerce platform deals really with almost everything that one might think of. It's a local solution, homegrown solution that I've developed right here from the Chipata city. And what it does is that it allows people to purchase things. It's more of like an online market, a trusted online market. So, but there are a lot of steps that then I come to conclude to say that's a trusted marketplace, right? So I was giving an example of 2019, what happened. There was the COVID-19, and then due to that, the shift had to come about when people were used to be doing things physically. So because of that, they were forced to be doing things online. So as the world is evolving, things get changing. And also we shift from what we used to do in the past to adapting to what is currently happening. I was privileged some few years ago to be working with an IT company that was dealing with work from the United States as well as Canada, and that was in the tech space. So when you look at the digital divide that exists between these two, you find to you learn to see that as Africa, as Zambia, where I come from, that's where even the challenge I had to identify it from. There is a gap in terms of how we are dealing our things. As the technology is evolving, I too, or we too, as Zambian, has to be, adapting to what is happening currently. So creating this platform is coming in to bridge that gap that is existing, because we are living in a local area, and then most people don't really believe in to say something online can work. But from the researchers that are there, you see that digital marketing are the most maybe things that are getting people rich today. So now, this idea, how then it is promoting the sustainable development goals. I've created a platform that is helping the community, and the community is benefiting from it. Just not benefiting from it, it's creating opportunities for those who would really want to come on board. I engage the local traders, right? I do partnership with them. After doing partnership with them, I need someone who does the delivery. Those are people involved in the logistics. So all these sectors now, they are being part of the system in promoting the aspect of creating opportunities for young people. So not only is it helping me, but it's helping the community. As well as it is helping the community, is creating job opportunities for those that are in need. Already, like as an African state, we have few job markets, and then we have a lot of people who are graduating, but then they don't have what to do when they come on the ground. So instead, as a youth, to be waiting for me to maybe look for an opportunity, it's better I create that opportunity. So outside creating the opportunities, the world has evolved, and it's in the tech space. It's advancing what an African setup, a Zambian setup would do. So considering these few points that I've given, I feel that's how then I'm contributing to this sustainable development. So in ending, I would say, so digital entrepreneurship is not just about applications like the one I'm building a website. It's about reimagining infrastructure, digital platforms, as well as when young people or entrepreneurs build and cross collaboration as a new passport. That is how we create sustainable youth livelihoods and move African forward on SDG number 9. Thank you.
Thank you, Emmanuel. This was so good answer. So, Cabello, are you with us now? Are you available now?
Yes, I am available. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Could you answer within 5 minutes?
Okay, cool.
Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you. So, my question for tonight reads as follows. It says that as a student leader and an advocate for education and community development, how can the youth-led movements in academic institutions translate the local initiative into influence on multilateral education policies and contribute to achieving SDG number 4, which is quality education across Africa? I am big on policy because if we are talking SDG 4, we are talking a tapestry that is full of policy. The policy says this, the policy says that. So when I was looking at this, I quickly noticed that we ought to ask ourselves, how united is Africa for the solutions that are meant to be African-based? I'll give you an example of key challenges that are still holding us as the youth of South Africa, especially in institutions. We are faced with a big elephant in the room. We are expected to come up with solutions for the current world that we live in and for the future world. But then in South Africa, I'll give an example. We have KEPS document, which is the curriculum that we are currently using. KEPS document was established in stages between 2010 and 2014, and it was a full-blown in 2014. And it is reviewed in 2018. Post the SD was the Agenda 2030 was low. But I can actually say with the research that I've made, the curriculum still not allow the Agenda 2030. And you will see how much the UN and UNESCO and UNICEF and all the push the activity that they are running. And tell you that the government is running its agenda in silos, apart from the people that are supposed to push the SDG 4, which is the immediate people that are supposed to do that, the stakeholders, are the teachers, the people, the deans of the university. But the people that I'm telling you about, whenever there is a roundtable where the SDG number 4 is being unpacked, they're never called to the roundtable. So we need to bring the classroom voice into the global boardroom if indeed we want to champion quality education. And we need to have solutions that we can work around from African country to African country. We are seated here talking about SDG number 4. We haven't even touched literacy. We cannot have quality education if I cannot read basic paragraphs.
That is good. That is good.
Or I cannot.
Thanks, Kabelu. Thanks.
Pardon?
So the next question to Grace. With your experience mentoring thousands of young Africans and building digital visibility, what strategies do you think youth can implement to harness digital platform and professional networks like LinkedIn to build cross-border partnership that drive innovation, decent work, SDG 8, and youth empowerment?
Thank you for that question. For me, I'll say that the key is to make the digital platforms. We have talked about digital platforms a lot in this call. I said that I concentrate on LinkedIn, but this also applies to other digital platforms. So the key is to make these digital platforms more than just a place where we go to scroll. You know, you can actually, these platforms can actually be bridges across our borders. And for today, I'll use the word bridge as my framework. I believe more in giving you the do, how, more than motivating you. So I'll start by sharing that last year, I connected with a young man who was from Nigeria through LinkedIn. And in like 2 weeks, we wrote a grant proposal. And in 2 months, his idea was piloting in Nigeria and was being replicated in Kenya. That's what I mean by the power of digital bridge. If you cannot be able to go to a place by air, how can you get to that place? We have digital platforms which have given you that opportunity. So personally, I have received so many opportunities through these digital platforms. One being a role in research for a startup based in the US. Another one is earning income from them, not just because of monetization, but because of promoting, my services. Because I believe visibility is important when it comes to showcasing what you have, even for the people. Other opportunities I can say is opportunities to collaborate as well as mentorship. You can say that in a normal circumstance, accessing a CEO, in an organization would be difficult, but LinkedIn has become that platform where you can be able to reach out to basically anyone, ask them any question. That is the power that is there. And I believe as the young people, we should be able to harness that power. So today we talk about bridge, BRIDGE. If you're writing, this is a good one. So what is bridge? First of all, we'll start with B for brief with clarity. So you find that so many ideas die because they're not clear. So you have to put your projects, yeah? We are all ambitious young people, and most of us have ideas. So put that project in one page. Which problem are you solving? Who is it serving? Have a simple metric. How will you be measuring success? And I mentioned this earlier, having 30-day pilots. I don't know why it's 30 days, but for me, 30 days works. Because if you are able to do something consistently for 30 days, you can be able to do basically anything. So have a brief about what is your problem, who is it serving, how will you measure it, and your 30-day pilot. Lastly, what support do you need? If you're reaching out, be sure about the support that you need. Partners can only say yes to what they understand. So that is B. R is for reach with intent. Whenever you are reaching out to someone, I will use LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is not just a feed, it's a search engine, SEO. So use filters by country, by sector, by posts, open to collaborate, and save at least 10 good leads every week. So that way, your network grows in a deliberate, SDG aligned way. That's how you reach out with intent. Every step must be measured. I'll talk about I. So I is introducing with value. So many young people are approaching mentors with asking. So what you'll do differently, introduce with value. Don't start with an ask, start with an offer. Maybe you can share user feedback, run a survey for them, bring in students, testers. You have so many students here. When you give first, you shift the energy and people want to actually work with you. So play your game different. So D is for displaying credibility. Cross-border partners need proof. So post quick demos, post before and after snapshots, post case studies, and even small numbers like what Yalda is doing, training youth, And after this, remember metrics. So how many got internships after you train them, and pin those results to your profile so that your credibility travels with you. Lastly, I will, not lastly, but second last, grow the loop. So what do I mean? Once you have one or two partners, don't stop at that. Post a LinkedIn audio or publish a checklist, co-create something with colleagues, yeah? We have so many people on this call from different countries. So co-create something with colleagues in two or three countries. Suddenly, your pilot will become a model that others can copy and be able to adapt. I have trained thousands of people, and I can say that you cannot work alone. We have had speakers mention this, and I cannot emphasize. You need other people so that you can go even further. Finally, E is evaluate and expand. Track the basics. What are the response rates? Pilots launched, stipends, jobs created, funds, everything. Make sure that you're tracking, yeah? And share that publicly, because data is what convinces the next partner, the next investor, and also the next policymaker. So when you hear the term bridge, now think, yeah? Start clear, reach out with intent, offer value, share proof, grow the collaboration, and measure impacts. That is how the youth can turn LinkedIn from just being a social platform into a launchpad for cross-border innovation, jobs, as well as empowerment. I think that's it from me.
Thank you,
I don't know
Chris.
if I have more time.
Thank you.
Uh,
So the last question that I say to Rionji, your work with Basha Youth Hub blends journalism, advocacy, and technology to empower displaced youth. How can creative media platforms amplify local youth voices and foster regional cooperation to address the needs of marginalized communities and advance the SDGs? Please respond within 5 minutes.
Thanks a lot for the questions. So I'm going to reply to the question by highlighting some of the initiatives that I'm leading in Kampala, Uganda. So I'm not only working with Pasha Youth Hub, but also I'm leading Streaming Asylum. Streaming Asylum is an online platform that is helping refugees not only to integrate easily within Uganda, but also to get opportunities about work and job opportunities that are available in the country so that they can have that possibility to participate to the development of the national economy of the country. We are not only hosts in Uganda, but we also of the economy. So we are doing this through digital platforms, and we are doing it through advocacy, through civilizations, but through citizen participation. So it means that we are acting as aids people who want support, but people built to build that support. So how is digital platforms, we are having that possibility to reach more people than we can reach when we are using traditional models of sensibilization, sensitization, because with digital platforms,
Nice. Okay, thank you, Nirvanji.
we have that
So,
and so on. So,
is there something you need to say?
Yeah. What I
Okay.
want to say is that it's possible to turn your passion into an agent of change. You can use what you believe in. You can use what is your motivation, your passion into something meaning community. For example, for us, we are using poetry, storytelling, and from and other obligations and responsibilities. So, you are at the next big.
Okay, thank you, Nirvanji.
This is built in steps. So we are using
Okay, I will let the microphone to Musu now.
All right. I'm sorry about that, Riange. It seems as if the network is a bit unfavorable at the moment. So we're going to quickly move on We're going to take our next speaker, Tabitha. And your question, Tabitha, goes, as a leadership coach and youth mentor, how can young Africans develop the mindset and necessary skills to collaborate effectively and tackle shared continental challenges aligned with the SDGs? So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to speak. Please be brief, be exemplary, be fun. Let's keep the movement going, yeah?
All right.
All right.
I'll try to be fun.
Thank you.
Okay. Young African, as we are called, young Africans, and to say and to think of that we are we are the ones having the largest population of young people. We're supposed to be doing great things, and like I said, we should consider more collaboration, the spirit of collaboration among us ourselves, among us countries. We collaborate with each other. If Kenya
Okay. I'm not sure if Tabitha is available. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody see me? Is it me? Is it you?
Yes, we can hear you.
Alrighty, Tabitha's network is a bit somehow. I don't know if I should give her a couple of seconds. Tabitha? All right, let's shuffle that for now. I'd like to give a kind reminder to everybody. If you have a question, if you have a comment, if you have anything to input in this conversation, please kindly leave your question or comment in the chat box. Remember to leave it with your name and your country so that when we get to the Q&A, we'll address everything that we'll need. So we're going to quickly move on to our sixth speaker, Priscilla. Your question reads, as a climate action advocate, what role can youth partnerships play in ensuring that environmental policies adopted at the multilateral level translate into tangible, community-driven action on the ground? So Tabitha, if you're available, Priscilla, if you're available, I'm going to give you your 5 minutes and it'll start as soon as you speak.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
I would like to speak without the video on. So first thing, one thing I would like to say is, as youth, we should know there is power in togetherness. There is power in forming team, working in teams and working together. As a climate advocate, I didn't just wake up one day and say, okay, I want to do this. It started from somewhere. As a youth, you should be driven by the problems in your community. You know, this year we are focusing so much on local because, as I said in my earlier submission, most people feel like they just want to start big. Today, when I start an organization or when I start an advocacy, tomorrow I should be seen on national television. Tomorrow I should be invited to the Parliament House. Tomorrow I should be invited to the White House or something. But it doesn't work like that. Policy translation and awareness. So our question is broad. And before environmental policies can be adopted at the multilateral level, for it to be translated into something tangible in the community-driven action on the ground, policies are being made at the higher level, at the regional, at the national, at the international level. Now, when it comes to the local level, translate the policy into a language that is well understood by the people. Explain it in a language that they understand. Make them aware of the problems at hand and why these policies are being set. Set local implementation hubs. Every policy that is being made at the national level can fix into our local level by us. Set an implementation hub that is more cooperative by the people in a local setting. There should be cross-border knowledge engagement. So when I started speaking in my first submission, I stated, whatever you are doing, somebody has done it before or somebody have started it. So look for what somebody is doing based on what you also want to do. Connect with the person. When you connect with the person, you get more knowledge and more ideas on whatever problem that you want to solve. Community engagement and multilateral. Engage the community. Whatever policy that is being set at the national or international level, when it comes to the community, if you don't engage them for them to understand whatever you are talking about, my dear, whatever you start, it will be you alone on the path. That is why sometimes most youth start something and they can't continue. You get it? One thing you should know is when you are starting something and you want people to buy into your idea, you need to make them understand where you are coming from and where you are going to. There should be accountability and monitoring. Whatever you are doing, make sure you are accountable. Sometimes when we talk about accountability, people feel like it's only about money. No, even time. Calling somebody to come listen to whatever knowledge you have in your mind, quote and unquote, you are wasting the person's time. So if it is not something that is tangible, next time when you call them, they are not going to come. Make sure you monitor the progress of whatever you are doing. There should be inclusive partnership for equity. When this whole gender equity started, people felt like the women are doing too much. No. So as a youth, no matter your gender, whatever you are doing, there should be gender equity in it. Whatever you are serving the other gender, it should be the same for the other gender. And make sure you report and document your finding. There should be evidence of whatever work you've done, whether picture, whether documentation, whether videos. Make use of the available internet resources that we have. There are a lot of social media platforms that you can connect to people with. If whatever you are posting doesn't make sense, I believe that there are some people that will not follow you. So make sure when you are reporting, report through the right medium and in the right way. This is what I will say about it. And as I end, I want to ask you as a youth, think about this question. What do you want to do? What do you want to include in the path of change? What do you want to do for you to be included in the path of change? Are you waiting for somebody to call you that come, let's form hands and do this? Are you waiting for recognition? Are you waiting to be called upon? All the time we talk about inclusivity. Any aspect of the SDGs that you are passionate about, start today, start now. Don't be afraid to start small, because the change we are talking about starts with us and it starts today. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Amazing stuff. You are right on time. Congrats for that. This was amazing, Priscilla. I really love how you are taking us through not only your question, not only your answer, but you're taking us through the practicality, the steps, the collaboration, make evidence of the things that you have, report them right, guys, if you're here and you're listening, I'm sure you can, you've got it, right? So we're going to quickly move on to our next speaker, or our next question rather. It will go to Sally.
Oh, okay.
Sorry?
No, it's Tabitha. I said I'm back. It was some technical errors. I was kicked out.
All right, guys, let's back. Let's go all the way back to Tabitha. Tabitha, I'd like to ask you a question once again, just to get you up to speed. So, as a leadership coach and youth mentor, how can young Africans develop the mindset and necessary skills to collaborate effectively and tackle shared continental challenges aligned with the SDGs? So, we're going to give you 5 minutes, and actually, can we give you 4 minutes?
Yeah.
If that's okay.
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you so much. And I'm sorry about that. So, as a leadership coach, what I have observed that and what made work for young African leaders to change their mindset and so that we can achieve whatever we want to achieve as a continent is one thing that we lack is the collaborative spirit. We always want to be seen as individual, maybe for the sake of to say, oh, it's Sally who have done that. It's Alex who did that project, and they pulled it off so well that we want all that glory to be on us, and that is making us to fail, because if we are just duplicating most of the projects that we have in our community, what I have seen, most of the projects are being left halfway because we have one skill there, one strength there, which are all scattered all over the place. Instead of us coming together and be a collaborative, then we come up with a very big solution to whatever situation that is going on, be it in our community, in our countries, and in our continent. Before I was kicked out, I was to give an example of how my experience during the fellowship, that most of the people what we have been taught is how to collaborate, and the whole aim was to bring us together so that we can work together as leaders across the nation, across the continent. And that is one thing that is lacking in us. And I have also seen how it's very difficult for us, so we have to shift from a mindset of I to us and just wanting to work together, because I have even seen how hard it is for us young African leaders to just give each other information, just information to say, this is what is going on, or this happening, or you can apply for this scholarship. Just as simple as that it seems, I have seen people who are not willing to share that information because they feel like, oh, maybe she's going to be greater than me. Oh, maybe if Sally do this, she's going to be greater than me. So we have to work on the mindset that will do away with the I and individualism, so that we can have this Africa that we dream of and create the future that we want to see in Africa. So I spoke also about being intentional about change that we want to see. It's not a thing of the mouth. It's not a thing of saying, oh, we want change and all that. No, it's a thing of you being intentional about it. Do you really want the change that you are talking about? I live by the philosophy that if you see something that needs to be fixed in your community, it's your responsibility to fix it. You cannot shift it to Sally and say, oh, Sally, do you know that there are no boys and girls club in my community? It's your responsibility to come up with the boys and girls club in your community, because you have seen that problem. So let us be intentional about solving the problems in our community, in our countries, and in Africa as a continent. There's nobody. There's a saying that has been trending that there's nobody coming to save us. We have us, and we are good at seeing things, but when it comes to solving problem, like an example of I'm giving, saying, if you see there is a plastic that need to be picked up, pick it up, because climate change will not only come and affect the people you are telling about this whole thing of saying, oh, the town is just dirty. Some things don't even cost money. It just needs you to say, oh, let me pick it up. Here is where I can put it and throw it away so that it cannot affect our environment. You want to go and complain on social media about how your town is. So that is some of the things that we can do to shift away from the mindset of wanting things to be done for us, and also a mindset of the I, the individualism, not wanting to work with others, not wanting to collaborate with others. And also let us not forget to give the voice to those who need it. As we listen to the people, we need to go back to the people, hear their voices. And one of the philosophy that I live also by is that everybody deserves to be heard regardless of who they are. So yeah, thank you so much.
Guys, the energy in the room, I can't believe it. If you are a youth leader and you're sitting there and you're waiting for something to happen, I'm sure these ladies have gotten you up off your feet. So collaboration is the name of the game, and be intentional about things. Like she said, if you're waiting for someone to do something, clearly you've gotten your answer. Do it yourself. Yeah. So we're gonna move on quickly to Sally. Sally, I'm going to read your question as our seventh speaker. All right. Through Happy Me Health and your policy advocacy, you work to improve healthcare access. So how can youth-led health initiatives build multilateral partnerships that close healthcare gaps in underserved communities and advance SDG 3, SDG 3, which is good health and well-being. So Sally, if you're available.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, I'm going to give you your 5 minutes and your time starts now.
Okay, thank you very much. So speaking about multilateral partnership, Tabitha, Priscilla, please, guys, let's connect because I want to partner with you guys. I would just like to thank Priscilla with her emphasizing community assessment because like I said earlier on, we all as African youths, local youths, need to have a lot of information about these initiatives we want to create, how these initiatives affect the community because we are the community, you understand? So I will still focus on research. As local youth initiatives, we have to do a lot of research first on our healthcare system since we're talking about SDG. So we want to do research about our healthcare system, the key challenges of our healthcare system. Are there policies existing and how are these policies implemented? And we also want to do a lot of community assessment, like Priscilla said, on these communities. What are their immediate needs? Who are the stakeholders in these communities that we can reach out to make our advocacies better? In doing research, it's going to help us innovate. Like with my startup, the Happy Me Health, I started Happy Me Health to just go into these communities and do health talks. But later on, it became more intense. I moved from communication to doing free diagnosis for these communities. I moved from free diagnosis to actually offering them nutritional alternatives. And right now, in 2025, we're talking Happy Me Health, providing AI solutions like portable mammogram machines to make health accessible. So what I want to tell local youth is, how do you form multilateral partnerships? You need to show value. This is what we do. Next thing, you want to be honest, you want to be legitimate, you want to register your business. Most times partnership fail because both parties are not true to themselves. They're not honest with each other. You cannot be doing partnership with somebody who is not legally registered in the country. And local youths also have to show some sort of commitment. As an advocate, when I go into these communities, I realize that the communities are even losing value. They are even losing trust in local SEOs because they think we just want to come take pictures of them, travel abroad with our grants money. They don't trust us anymore. So as a local youth, you want to show that you're taking your initiatives in the long run. And that is how you build not only sustainable partnership, but partnership that will last for like forever. And another thing you want to do is you want to reach out. Now, the Cameroon health system, right? It has a lot of challenges, which is what I exploited with my association. We have untrained medical personnel. We have underserved communities still not having healthcare centers. We have a lot of health lapses. And the government decided to start what was called the National Health Developmental Plan in 2021. And fortunately for me, my initiative was created in 2021, the Happy Me Health. So this national plan was pushing policies like one, universal health coverage, maternity and child health care. It was pushing policies like communicable diseases, non-communicable diseases, which is a focus area for my organization. So I think local youth should be in a position where they're always ready to seize opportunities. They should be ready. They should have all their things, like Priscilla said, documented. This is my initiative. This is what I'm doing. These are the pictures to show evidence so that when you approach these government institutes, you approach these private sectors, you approach international organizations for partnership, they see some sort of credibility in your work. And as local youth, we should not be only focused on health, though I'm discussing the health aspect. We also want to be partnership with people in telecom sectors, MTM, Orange, people that can push your initiatives. Organizations like YADA that will push any youth-led initiative regardless of the sector. So these aspects to me are what I feel like if local youth actually focus on these three aspects: research, legitimacy, and stakeholder, approach them, reach out to them. I'll tell you people a story. When I started Happy Me Health, I was not known. For a very long time, I was not known. I was in the grassroots, no internet coverage. I was doing my work. Nobody was seeing what I was doing. But at some point, I felt like visibility was necessary to help me enhance, to help me improve my community advocacy. And that is why I had to reach out to government. I pay transport. You go there, you make yourself known, you reach out to them, and you form meaningful partnerships. So that's all I had for you all today. And please, Tabitha, Priscilla, let's connect after this.
All right. Thank you so much, Sally, for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you can see that these conversations are flowing. Earlier they spoke about collaboration and intentionality. And then Sally comes in with, in as much as you partner, ensure that there's legitimacy in what you're doing, ensure that you earn trust of the communities that you're serving, ensuring your sustainable partnerships. These are lessons that I'm sure we'll take on to each and every one of our leadership centers and prosper forth. Next, here we're going to have our 8th speaker, God First. God First, are you available? I'm going to read your question. All right, so your question reads, you are deeply engaged in environmental sustainability and the AFCFTA project. How can green technologies and intra-African trade initiatives be combined to create youth-driven opportunities that advance both SDG 13, which is climate action, and inclusive economic growth across Africa? I'm going to be giving you 5 minutes, and your time starts now.
All right, thank you very much. There are key words I've gotten from the questions you just asked me. Words like green technology, which deals on sustainability. Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, we can hear you. Please go on.
All right. Okay. All right. So, like I said, there are very interesting keywords that you mentioned in this question. One of it also is intra-African trade. There are tendencies for me to rephrase the question you just asked me because of certain issues. Like the intra-African trade that you mentioned, it's already existing, especially at the regional level. For instance, ECOWAS, people move from here to Ivory Coast almost every week and come back. So what I would like to, why I would like to rephrase it, how I would like to rephrase it is, how can the youth take advantage of opportunities available under green technology and intra-African trade initiatives to foster sustainable practice and promote inclusive economic growth? The reason why, hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. You can go on.
Okay, so the reasons why I would like to rephrase the question is what I just said, and why, and the first reason, the first way I want to answer the question is that we should be aware of some certain laws, some regulatory framework that governs the African Continental Free Trade Zone. There is the AFCFTA agreements, protocols, annexes, appendices, instruments, and initiatives. For instance, the AFCFTA is the world's largest free trade area that brought together 54 of the 55 states parties of the African Union and 8 regional economic communities in the continent to create a single market. The agreement, amongst other preamble, is conscious of the need to create an expanded and secure market for the goods and services of state parties through adequate infrastructure and progressive elimination of non-tariff barriers. This particular law, it also recognizes the importance of international security, democracy, human rights, gender equality, and the rule of law for the development of international trade, economic, and cooperation. These laws I am calling now, why I want us to be aware is to help us know how to address issues, around the sustainability and the intra-African trade. The reason why I also want us to know about this regulatory framework is to help us know available opportunities, so that we know how to engage in learning jobs of the future. For instance, you can be in your room and you'll be operating. You can be a visual assistant. You can be a cyber security expert. You can be a content creator. You can be a data analyst. You can be an online copywriter. So these are the reasons why I'm stressing on these laws. There are many of them. There is the AFCFTA negotiating forum. There is the rule of law and the rules of origin. Sorry, the rules of origin. There is the PAPS, the Pan-African Payments and Settlement System. There's the monitoring and elimination of non-tariff barriers. If I now as a Nigerian, I want to meet demand that comes from South Africa, what are the drawbacks? What is there any policy that will back me up, that will make it not legal for me to be stopped in doing this business? That's why I'm bringing up these laws. There's the African Trade Observatory, that was established by the same African Continental Free Trade Agreement body. I think last year, 2024, yes, there was the establishment of a new protocol on digital trade. Yes, that the AFCFTA.
What about 30 seconds?
Trade protocol. Okay, there's also building human capacity. Knowing the applicable laws, knowing how to build marketplaces, knowing what to train for, like I said, and how to prepare for the jobs of the future. The government, their policies should be tended towards the youths to be able to be involved in this African trade. And there should be infrastructural developments across the borders. Things like data centers across corridors. Tech centers should be built in maybe border cities. If a country can generate enough electricity for itself, the surplus should be transferred to the nearest African country. Then there should be adaptable business models. Like Sally said, for you to be trusted, to be engaged in a business based on it can be based on your viable business model. So your business that you have should be bankable, should be scalable. For instance, I have a business operated in South Africa. I should be able to go to Zambia, Lesotho to scale it, to meet demands, and supply my clients that need my product or services. Thank you very much. That's how I want to answer this question.
All right. Thank you very much, Godfirst, for that. I think what Godfirst did was really give us the AFCFTA 101, if you're really listening well. All right, so that closes up our speaker questions. We're gonna move right along into the Q&A section, as we've asked before. As you wanna ask your question or leave a comment, please do so and leave your name and your country at the end, such that when we ask, we shall be ready to receive. I'm already seeing one here from Otello. I'm not sure if you're available to want to ask the question yourself, or would you like me to read it out for you? That's Otello from Liberia. Are you available? All right. Okay. So his question, that's Otello Wagboy Jr. from Liberia, if I pronounce it right. So he says, or he or she says, as young people in Africa, we possess the right mindset for innovation, transformation, and sustainable change. We are also surrounded by abundant natural resources that can serve as a foundation for development. However, the critical gap that continues to limit our potential is the lack of adequate financial support and investment opportunities. So in light of this, how can governments, development partners, private sector actors, and financial institutions work together to create inclusive financial systems and investment platforms that empower African youth to fully harness their skills and resources for the continent's progress. So I'd like to call upon any one of our speakers at this time who'd like to hop onto that question to unmute and give us a go. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds and then I'll just start handpicking.
Maybe you should come again with the question, please.
Sorry?
I said, just come again with the question, please.
All right. I'm going to read from the top. It's a pretty lengthy message. Please bear with me. It says, as young people in Africa, we possess the right mindset for innovation, transformation, and sustainable change. We are also surrounded by abundant and natural resources that can serve as a foundation for development. However, the critical gap that continues to limit us, our potential, is the lack of adequate financial support and investment opportunities. So, in light of this, how can governments, development partners, private sector actors, and financial institutions work together to create inclusive financial systems and investment platforms that empower African youth to fully harness their skills and resources for the continent's progress? That's Otello Jr. from Liberia with the question. There's also an add-on question, but I believe once anyone has answered that, we shall add on to that. So any one of our speakers, would you like to give a go? Otherwise, handpicking, like we said, any one of you can unmute and let's give it a go.
Okay, thank you. Let me try to give it a go.
All right, thank you.
I think from that question, what we have to do as African is first of all to unlock our human potential. Africa has the youngest youth population, and this is a great potential. So the issue is that we don't know how we can turn that wealth so that we can equip our youth with the right skills that they need to go to the job market. I always believe that nowadays educative system is preparing the youth to a world that does not exist. They only give them degrees, digital skills, entrepreneurship, critical thinking, which is good, but education should link market to certificates. People have certificates, but they don't know how to monetize them. They don't know how to get money out of the certificate they have. The second point is to shift from extraction to value addition. What am I meaning? Africa is rich in minerals, agriculture. We can also talk of culture without the agri, but most of these raw materials are exported cheaply and imported back as expensive products. So processing these resources locally, like from cocoa to chocolate in Ivory Coast or Ghana, or maybe from lithium into batteries in Congo, to create creative works into global brands like in Uganda, that can be something that can help the African youth to develop. So I can talk about. Yes, please.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Rangi, for that. I'm sure if you're listening, he has now narrowed it down to two essentials, that it's a skills problem. We're not learning, or rather, were we ever taught to manage wealth, right? And then secondly, he said the processing of our resources locally. That is what he has said. There was someone else who had wished to speak to these financial institutions working together to create the inclusive financial systems.
If I can just, if I can.
Okay, may the lady go first. Ladies first.
Right.
anyone can go first? I suppose the lady would go first.
All right. Locally, I believe if you can work on your, apart from your human capacity, if a person can work on his ability to present, to pitch a viable value proposition, that will go a long way to get the required and necessary financial assistance needed. Another thing, since I will be speaking from an intra-African trade perspective, that is the whole of Africa as a single market, one can, with that position in mind of having a good and sound valuable value proposition, you can approach continental financial institutions like the African Development Bank, and there are ways an institution like the Afro-Exim Bank give out loans, grants to scalable business models. So I think that for you to go forward will benefit a lot of people in the African continent. You should build your business on scalable indices, so that when you go to these banks, they want to support you. They want to assist you financially, because they believe it will be trans-border, to be not just benefiting one country. Like businesses that come from a regional economic community. I believe the human capacity should be improved on, so that the scalable business can be trusted enough to support and release the financial assistance too.
All right.
Thank you.
I'd like to cut you off right there. Thank you so much for that. So he says to the answer to this question of creating inclusive financial systems and investment platforms for youth, he says that you should refine your solid pitch, your value proposition. And as and when you're working on your businesses, make sure that these are scalable, such that when you do approach these financial institutions, that makes our work a little bit easier. I'm going to quickly move on to the next question, which was an addition to the previous question by Otello. This is by Gracious Armas. It says that, in addition, as these financial institutions work together, how do we as the youth then suggest these investments are done without getting to drown Africa further into huge amounts of debt and eliminating the ideology that we as Africa and African people are just a charity platform? So I don't know if anyone has any take on that. How do we make sure that we're not digging ourselves deeper down the grave?
If I can come in, I don't know what happened.
Okay, I'll give you just about a minute and a half.
Okay, I'm going to be very quick. So my answer to the first speaker and the second speaker would be, if a business needs a raw material for it to start, let's normalize asking ourselves, what is the immediate raw material that I have in my vicinity that needs no funding that I can start with? And allow that raw material to be your startup. Because if I'm seated with an idea and personally I cannot work for that idea, or I cannot fund that idea myself, how do I expect the next person to be confident enough in my idea alone to fund it, if I don't have a track record of what I have done so far alone? So let all the funding find you somewhere, because now I cannot take an idea, no matter how solid it is, unless if I'm presenting it in an NGO-based funding space. But if I'm going to a bank or an institution that is solemnly made to make profit, and I don't have any track record of what I have done, and I don't have a sustainable plan, even if you've started with 100 Rand, and your sustainability is that every year your turnaround or your take home is 200 rand. It shows that that business, if it's given a tapestry to grow, it would really yield profit that the institutions are looking for. So we cannot even fund our own business ideas, but then we expect the next person to fund it. So look for raw materials in your immediate solution that you're presenting. Remember, business is all about seeing a gap and presenting a solution. How raw can you go, or how basic can you start to present that solution, so that when you call in the next person to say, hey, here is my solution that I'm presenting, I'm going to refer to A Boy Who Harnessed Wind. It's a movie, it's an African movie of a boy. Yeah, thank you. Of a boy who used things that were thrown out of his community and he turned them into a windmill that eventually brought energy into his community. So that's how basic we have to take our solutions to. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for that question. I'm gonna give or hand over rather to Ez.
Thank you, Moso.
Yes.
Okay, I will pick another 3 question or 2 question. So, Sumaya, are you there? Okay, I will say your question. Sumaya from Tunisia. What are the most important challenges that Africa is facing now, and how you can solve them? So, any one of our speaker could
okay.
answer? Okay, come on, go
Please.
ahead.
Sure. Can I get the question again?
What are the most important challenges that Africa is facing now, and how youth can solve them?
All right. Thank you very much. If I got it right, the question says, "What are the most challenges that Africans are facing now, and how can youth solve them?" I think this also leads us to the conversation that we're having. African problems and challenges are interconnected. So what currently we are facing here in Zambia, maybe issues of a high unemployment levels. We don't have the job market. Is what is exactly the other country is facing. So if we are to say what are the most challenges that Africans are facing, we would say maybe it's job markets or maybe job opportunities. Apart from that, we would say maybe in terms of how then we're dealing with even our education setup, the systems that we have at hand. We talk of issues or maybe governance sectors, there are a lot, maybe corruption, whatnot. But then how do we address them? I think this leads us to us youths being innovative. Through time, you find that what we usually do as youths, we are more into talking and like providing solutions. I heard someone asked about we have brilliant ideas. So if we were to say where we're coming from, how many youths do they have those brilliant ideas? What are those ideas exactly? You will find that it's just a few individuals. Henceforth, will be complaining to say we don't have job opportunities. There are no opportunities for us youths. We are not allowed to participate into different issues that we always complain about. But the thing is, what I would say is, in as much as there are no opportunities, it's about us being creative. That's how then we address that challenge. So we need to be innovative by identifying a challenge and try to address it. So a challenge, what you're identifying, must also come with a solution that is going to be accepted by the community, and also perhaps it's going to help the community. So it's all about, uh, having those ideas that we feel can address that particular challenge. That's how we're going to address. But talking of challenges, they're interconnected and the same. And most challenges that this country is facing is the same as what other countries are facing. So that's how I could respond to that question.
Thanks, Emmanuel. Nana, are you there? You can unmute and say your question. Nana? Okay.
Hi, sorry. My
Okay,
next
you
opportunity.
can say your question.
Okay, hi. So my question is, I own a book club, and most of the times we are very strict when it comes to the collaborations or the people that we partner with. So as much as we are a youth-led book club, and I'm not just into the book club, I'm into a lot of youth-led programs from philanthropy to volunteer work and all that. I even work with Miss Priscilla. My question is, how can you decipher if this collaboration is going to be to your detriment or is going to help you as a company or as a club? Because you can get a club having all the necessary information and all the legit information that you need, but then anytime they come to partner with you, it's like your club doesn't get the recognition it needs, or you don't get even the benefits you want to get from the collaboration. So my question to the speakers is, even when they come all shiny and dandy, how can you decipher that this club or this collaboration is going to help me as a person or help me as a club or not? Thank you.
Thanks, Nana. So I think is the question. Okay, you want to answer? Okay, come.
Okay, so unfortunately, I've been struggling with my device. I wanted to answer even the first question. Most times, like I said, you want to research this company that you want to partner with. And by research, I mean like you check up on them, what they've been doing, for how long they've been existing. I also want to make sure that their specific goals, their long-term goals, I don't mean short-term goals, aligns exactly with what your organization is doing. If the long-term goals align, then definitely you both want to be doing the same thing for a longer time. The other part, you cannot control a lot of things that might happen in future, because sometimes when finance comes in, it creates some sort of weave. People start fighting about percentages. All those things you cannot control, but you just have to make sure that you both have a shared goal, which is long term. And for the first question, I think in Africa we have a lot of resources in terms of funding, but majority at times the money keep going to the same kind of people. Government, especially in Cameroon, the government will give out money, and these accelerators and incubators, you see the same person moving from this accelerator, winning money, goes to the next, win the same amount, and so on. So I think we should put mechanism in place that will be like accountability mechanisms, people that are honest enough to go into the grassroots to fish out the people that really need this money, and we give the money to them. And another thing I feel as Africans we should do is we should give substantial amounts, because most times we give money that is below what these founders or these startups want, and it doesn't suffice. So we want to come together, we want to collaborate. An amount that one accelerator can give, 2 to 5 accelerators can come together, have something substantial, input in the project, and make sure that the project is implemented. So to me, I believe if we do all that and we put honesty at the forefront, it will solve a lot of our problems, because most times, even with policies, we write a lot of good policies on papers, but we don't implement them. So we need to start pushing for action-oriented things. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sally. Marcella, you want to say something? You can go
Yes,
ahead.
please. I want to add up to what she just said. So, with the goal aspects, I think she has clearly explained that part when it comes to making sure that whatever goal the organization that is going to partner with you have aligns with yours. And you can decide, for the purpose of financing, you can decide not to have a very long-term partnership with somebody. It can be quarterly, it can be every half of the year, you get it. So if you set a goal like that, within the next quarter, if you feel like the person's goal is no more aligning with yours, you step back within the partnership. Sometimes it is difficult to find information about certain organization because they just started. Yes, some might not be registered, or some might not have all the information online, but they are doing the right things. You get it. So look for the project report of the organization you want to connect with. If they have evidence of whatever they've been doing and how well their work or activities are impacting the life of other people, you can go ahead and connect with them. Just make sure you shine your eyes when it comes to the finance aspect. And don't be greedy. Whatever purpose you are giving money for, make sure you do and do your part. Just leave the other person if they want to spend it. But at the end of the day, make sure you are just living the dream that you want, as in terms of achieving the goal that you have as an organization and impacting the life you want to impact. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Priscilla. So we are short on time. The microphone now with Musu.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to indulge us with these questions, taking the time to answer each and every one of us who had something. And thank you so much to the speakers as well. I think from today, we all have take homes, right? I think for me, it's collaboration, it's being intentional. And I love how even when we're all in our different spaces, we all have similar experiences as community leaders, and each of our perspectives is shaping solutions that are relevant to each and every one of our networks. So thank you so very much. At this point in time, I'd like to close off those questions, and then we're going to move right on to our closing. But before we close, I'd like to urge all of you guys here, please, please, please follow YALDA, the Youth Alliance for Leadership and Development in Africa, on all our social media platforms. And please register for our mailing list for the latest news on African development, employment, and scholarship opportunities, as well as inspiring African youth stories. We're available on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, X, on YouTube as well. We have a mailing list as well. So please, 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 when you have time, give us a follow, give us a comment, and we will get there. Oh, there we go. Here are our QR codes. Please take a moment to scan each and every one of them and join in on the conversations that we have. It doesn't end here. I promise you the conversations do not end here on social media. We are watching, we are waiting to hear all of you guys' questions, all of you guys' comments. And I've also seen a couple of you guys dropping your LinkedIn, link trees down in the comment section. Please, if you do have time, leave your comments and your contacts and everything in the chat box, and let's get in touch. Let's network. Let's learn from one another, right? I've seen people from Liberia, from Zimbabwe, from Zambia. Guys, let's network. Otherwise, it's been a pleasure. It's been great. It's been cute. Thank you so much for joining in. Ez, would you like to wrap up for us, please?
Thanks, Musu. Thanks to everyone of our amazing speakers and our amazing audience. So if anyone of our speaker want to say 1 minute conclusion. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Okay. You want to say something?
Yes, I wanted to say to everyone here that let's go back to our communities and let us not work in silos. If you are in SDG number 9, 4, 6, make sure that the bottom up and the up bottom communication from government to the last participant in your community is interconnected, so that the solution that you're working towards or the good ideas that we have reach the relevant stakeholders that have the power or the authority to put them into practice.
Thanks, Cabello. Thanks to our amazing speakers. Anyone want to say something else?
Yes, please.
Okay, come.
So I want to urge all youth here today, no matter how small you are, you've started, no matter what you are doing, remember somebody out there is watching. There is a child in that community that is looking up to you to become the leader she wants to become. Never give up, and remember tomorrow begins today. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcel. Anyone want to say something again?
Yeah,
Okay.
I just want to repeat, when you see something wrong in your community, please fix it. If there are group initiative for the youth who are volunteering, please join them. It's your responsibility to fix Africa and to fix your community. Thank you.
Thank you, Tabitha. So, Emmanuel, want to say something? Ryanji?
Sure.
Okay,
Thank
okay.
you
much. It's been an amazing conversation, and I've enjoyed myself. Hopefully, to engage some of you in what we do or what I do. Maybe if we follow each other on the platforms that maybe I've just gotten to share. Otherwise, it's been an amazing webinar, and thank you for having me as a speaker from your hosts. We look forward to such kind of conversation.
Thank you so very much, Emmanuel. Anyone else?
Maybe I can go next.
Okay.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. And
Thank you.
thank you even for the conversation coming hot. And everything has been really impactful. One thing I'd like to encourage you all is to remember that start small, publish, and partner. Don't be afraid of building in public and waiting for results. Let people see the process and believe in what you're doing. So that's it from me. Feel free to engage with me whenever. I love you all. Bye.
Thanks, Grace. Okay, our time is end. Thank you for everyone, and thank you for our amazing speaker. And thanks to most of you did great job. I enjoyed that meeting, and I hope you too. So, goodbye, salam, and good evening.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.